Welcome or welcome back to Taylor Lil Createur. If you're looking at the YouTube channel, right? Or if you're listening to the podcast, welcome or welcome back, okay? Now, before we get into today's episode, I am offering one-on-one coaching for those who need a little guidance, or maybe you just need a plan on manifesting. Guess what? I got you, okay? I got you. So if you're interested in that, it is in the description below, okay? So we are on episode 4, where we're going to be talking about should we or should we not talk about our manifestations with other people, okay? So this, to me, is a very important topic because you are doing your processes, you're visualizing, you have your vision board, or you're scripting, whatever your processes are, you're doing them every day, or throughout the day, however you have it set up for yourself, it's different for everybody. And so it's natural for when you get on the phone with one of your friends or family members, or when you get around them, it's natural for you to want to talk about your manifestation, because that's, you've been putting energy into that. Like I said, you've been visualizing, scripting, all of these things. So those things will naturally become part of the top, priority things that you want to talk about or share with the people that you love and care about, right? Right. That's understandable, right? So should you talk about it or not? Well, this is from my own personal experience. That's all I can really share, and things that I've noticed with other people as well. So when it comes to talking about, okay, I'm going to bring it back to me. When it came for me, talking about my manifestations, I would have to be really picky, number one, with the who, okay? Because certain people are not, hip to this, conscious manifesting world. Certain people are not, they have not fully awakened to the possibilities. So if I am talking about something that may be, something that this person never believed that they could do, right? Not necessarily that they're doubting that I can do it. It's 9 times out of 10 is because they doubt that they will be able to do it. They're going to be coming from that limited space, right? So I have to be very choosy with the who. And then not only that, it's with certain manifestations, you kind of hold a little bit more near and dear to your heart, right? So if you're not fully at the stage where you're detached to what anybody has to say or anything about what you're manifesting, then if you're not at that point, then I would not share. Because when you are still, when you are not completely confident within your manifestation, and somebody can say something that will have you start doubting or second guessing, if you can create this thing, right, you don't want to do that. I'm seeing 11:55 right at this second, so that may mean something for somebody. It's definitely one of my spiritual numbers that I see. But if you are not solidified in your manifestation, if you're not at the point where you're solidified in this particular manifestation, there's some that you're solidified in, and some that you don't hold any resistance to. So it wouldn't matter what anybody else says. It's just no, this is what I'm doing, or this is done, or this is mine, right? But then, if you're not there, then you shouldn't talk about it, because you're just opening the chopping block. You just putting your manifestation on chopping block for somebody else to either tear it down, or, if you're coming out of that energy anyway, you may be looking for validation. You may be, if you're not solidified in what you're creating, right, and you want to talk about it, it may be coming from an energy of not having, of lack. And so you feel like if you talk about it, you need some type of validation from the person that you're talking about it with. Okay. So number one, if you're feeling like that about your manifestation, I wouldn't be getting on the phone with nobody. I will be doing any process that I need to do to bring myself back to the knowing. Okay. So if there's something that you're trying to manifest that is appearing in your 3D that you don't like, and it's something that's bothering you, okay, whatever you need to do it. If that means cry it out, if that means scream, like whatever you need to do to kind of let it out and then reset, you know what I'm saying? Do that. Okay. If that means talking to yourself, I am a firm believer. I will talk to myself until I talk myself back into my stance of who I am. Okay. So do that and then go from there. Don't get on the phone if you're wobbling, and you know what I'm saying? Definitely don't get on the phone if you're wobbling and then start talking about your manifestation that appears to have not manifested and you're worried or whatever. Like, if you're not in alignment, don't do it. Okay? Don't do that. So yeah, I covered the people and then the situation, like where you're coming from. So before you do get on the phone or talk or bring up your manifestation, just kind of check with yourself and be like, you know what? Why am I bringing this up? Am I bringing this up because I want validation, or just does it feel good to talk about? And it doesn't matter what the other person says or not. It's not going to stop me from feeling good about this thing, or that I can trust that this is the kind of person who is right where I'm at. They understand, so they're going to speak life and not anything else to this. You know what I'm saying? Like, kind of just, you know what I'm saying? Like, don't just get on there and just get the rambling. We don't want that for you. Okay? We don't want that, because, you know, even if that happened, and we'll get into that, but even if that happens, you know, you always can come back from it. Don't get me wrong. It's just, why open yourself up to that and then have to kind of pull yourself back? And it's just like, yeah, just be mindful. The key to this whole thing is just being mindful and being aware of like what you're doing and how you're placing your energy. And if you're opening the door for people to, you know, if you open the door for people to come and drain you, or, you know, just bring negativity into your mental space, that's not what we want. Okay. So let's say you jumped the gun and you went out there and you brought it up to somebody and they kind of like shitted on your manifestation. Like, like, let's say you're manifesting a specific person and they're like, you know, maybe they know of this person, right? And it's just like, they're like, oh, well, don't they got this going on, or ain't that da-da-da-da-da, or ooh-wee, or whatever, you know what I'm saying? Or let's say you're manifesting something that, you know, whatever it is, and this person tries to project their limiting beliefs onto you and your manifestation. Okay? So if that happens and you become triggered by it, right? Get off the phone, or, you know, if you're in person, get off to yourself. Don't just try to, like, you know, act like everything's okay and it's not. If you're triggered by it, you need to self-regulate your whole shit. Okay? So at that point, what I would do, like, I would, if I was on the phone, I would get off the phone, and however I need to get phone, it wouldn't matter. Okay? Like, it don't matter. Get off the phone. And then if you need to do like a quick, like, meditation, do something to kind of break your distraction off of, break your distraction, break your focus on that subject. So I would say meditation. I wouldn't go right into like visualization or scripting about that thing, because it may be still like a little bit too touchy if you're triggered. So do something that has nothing to do with your manifestation. Okay? Do something that completely has nothing to do with your manifestation. For me, meditation is really good. Another thing though is, like, I am really the type of person that I kind of can get distracted easily, just naturally. So if you're that type of person, you may not need to do like meditation. It really depends on you and how triggered you are. Okay, if it's just a little trigger, a little, you know what I'm saying, then you could probably just get off the phone and kind of move on with your day, and you get distracted by it. But if you're really triggered and it's like, you're seeing a physical reaction, meaning like your ears started getting hot, or your face started getting hot, your heart started beating, you started, like, you know what I'm saying, like you started having like physical manifestations in your body because you're triggered, then you may need to do a breathing exercise, Wim Hof, okay, on YouTube. You may need to do a quick guided meditation, okay? Look, 10 minutes, that's fine. You know what I'm saying? You may need to just, or do a meditation without the guided, it's fine. But do something that will force you to stop the focus on what was said, and then redirect. So that's going to redirect you back into your nervous system being regulated, and then you go from there. Whatever you feel led to do, once you feel calm, go from there, okay? And just keep noting your mind, like, hey, we're not going to do that again, especially not with that person, especially, you know what I'm saying, like, we're going to be led in what we do. And if you have a feeling before you say anything to anybody about it, like, man, maybe I shouldn't bring this up, don't bring it up, okay? If you have that feeling where it's like, if it comes across your mind, like, yeah, maybe I shouldn't say nothing to this person, or maybe I shouldn't talk about it, that's your intuition letting you know, like, hey, we're not there quite yet to where it doesn't matter what anybody says or anybody does regarding this specific manifestation. You can get triggered, so we're not going to even go there. Like, let it just, like, save something for yourself. That's what I be thinking to myself, like, just save something for yourself. Save something, like, you don't have to tell everything, you don't have to share everything. Like, just have some things that you kind of just keep to yourself. Like, it's just more fun. Like, to me, it's more fun that way. But do I talk about my manifestations? Yeah. Like, yes, I talk about my manifestations. Okay? Not all of them. I don't talk about it. Some of them, it's like, oh no, I'm not finna even put that out there, because I already know this type of person, and I know that they got something to say about that. Like, I know this person, and I know that that's not something that's just going to be like, you know what I'm saying? I'm not going to get the feedback that I would want from this person on this topic or whatever. So I'm just going to keep this to myself. You know what I'm saying? And then when it manifests, then, they'll either see it, hear about it, know about it, or they won't. You know what I'm saying? If I decide not to share it. You know what I'm saying? So it's not a bad thing to share it. A lot of the times, there's been times where I shared it with people, and I just started talking about it in a way of like, I'm talking about it like it's already done. It's something that already happened. And do you know, like, if I did that with the right person, it even added more like good energy, right, to me. Like, it to like the situation, it just felt like so real, because I was talking about it to them like it was already done. You know what I'm saying? And they understood what I was doing, so it wasn't like a thing where they were trying to challenge me and be like, well, if that happened, then why is it? You know what I'm saying? Like, it was somebody who understands what I'm doing. You know what I'm saying? So I would say, if you don't have anybody in your immediate circle like that right now, just keep it to yourself. You can definitely do the phone call method, where it's like you're imagining that you're having a phone call with one of your friends or homegirls, or your husband or your wife, or somebody close to you, and you're telling them, like, it's like you're imagining yourself being on the phone with them, and you're telling them, like, guess what? You know what I'm saying? And then it's like, this what happened, da, 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 da. And then you're hearing their response like, oh my God, congratulations. Whatever it would sound like in reality, you know what I'm saying? You're like playing that out. You can do that. And I feel like that will satisfy you even more than you sitting here risking like talking about certain things, when if you don't have those type of people in your life that understand what you're doing, and like who are open-minded. You know what I'm saying? I like the telephone method. I do. I like it. So try it if you haven't. You know what I'm saying? Keep these things in mind when you are speaking to people about your manifestations, though, or if you're thinking about talking about them. And don't let anybody shit on what you're creating, because you have to remember they are projecting their limitations onto you. Okay? And it could even be something where you've tried to manifest this before, and they're bringing it back up to you. Well, didn't you try to That's still, they're looking at you from a limited space. They're looking at you from that past you that tried and it didn't happen at that point in time. It's still a limitation that's being set. So just remember, that's not who you are. Just because they're saying that, that's not who you are. That's coming from their own limitations. If somebody told me that they was going to manifest something and they've been trying to manifest this thing for 3 times already, and especially if it was something that wasn't like detrimental to them, right? I'm going to be like, well, I'm going to speak life into the situation, because at the end of the day, you can have, be, or do anything that you want. And who am I to sit here and tell y'all that you can have, be, or do anything you want? But then when I get on the phone with this person that I know and they have been trying to manifest something in it and it's still on the way, sit here and tell them the opposite. Like, no, that's not, no, we're not going to do that. So that's really it. That's all I wanted to share with this topic, because I feel as though a lot of you guys who are getting into manifesting, or even if you've been in it for a while, you come across this situation where it's like, okay, this is all I've been like, not all I've been thinking about, because you don't want this to be like you're not obsessing over your manifestations. But I've been putting energy into this. I've been visualizing. I've been using subliminals. I've been doing sats. I've been scripting about this thing. And so it's like, I naturally feel like I just want to talk about it. You know what I'm saying? And think about it. That's normal, because if you had the thing in your life already, or the situation, whatever it is that you're manifesting, if you already had it, then it would come up. It would. You know what I'm saying? Like, girl, you just manifested a whole husband. You're not going to bring up your husband from time to time when you're talking to your homegirls or your family, or, you know what I'm saying? Or you just manifested a whole wife. You're not going to talk to your homeboys about your wife sometimes or whatever. So that's natural. It's natural. You know what I'm saying? And the fact that you want to talk about it, and if you're coming from a good space where it feels like good to talk about, the fact that you want to talk about it is just evidence of you shifting into the version of you that has that thing. So it's a good thing. It's just, you don't want to be looking for validation, and you don't want to be bringing it up to the wrong people. That's it. Okay. Talking about it is not bad. Okay. It's actually good. So that's all I have for you guys today. Again, if you would like to book coaching with me, I do have the link to that in the description below. Okay. If you're into tarot, I do have a tarot channel. I have not been promoting it, because in my mind, Mark Cornelius was like, keep those two things separate. But it's like, well, why not? You know what I'm saying? Like, some of my conscious creators, my spiritual rock stars, are into tarot, and why not let them in on that? You know what I'm saying? So if you're interested in tarot, I actually have a tarot channel. It's Le Createur Tarot, okay, spelled the same way. And then I'm also on TikTok with it, Le Createur Tarot on TikTok. Yeah, that's it. So that's pretty much it. Also, I have subliminals on the Taylor Lil Creator channel. If you are into subliminals, I have a morning meditation. I am constantly coming out with more as the inspiration flows. I just take heed and I do it. So I do have subliminals there, and you can purchase the full tracks. The links will be in the description of those videos. So yeah, I got y'all. When I tell y'all I got y'all, like, I got y'all. Okay. So anyway, y'all have a beautiful rest of the day, night, and I'll talk to you next time.